Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, in class, we go over questions for 504. So, if you had any questions, just go to the video and watch how I worked out 504 to whichever problems you need. You can fast forward and stuff. And if you still have questions, go ahead and send me an email. All right, let's go ahead then and skip to our notes for today. Today, we are writing proportions. So flip to the one that says writing proportions, homework 505, chapter 5.4, page 204 in our Big Ideas book online. All right, so this is part two of solving proportions. So now we're going to write out the proportions and then we need to solve them. So it says find the value of x so that the ratio 3 over 8 and x over 20 are equivalent. For the ratios to be equivalent, the values of the ratios must be equal. So find the value of x for which 3 over 8 and x over 20 are equal by solving the proportion. So basically, we're going to write this out. We're going to go 3 over 8 equals x over 20. Now, I notice I can't do the multiplication or the mental math is right here. 8 times what is 20? There's not an easy number. So I like to do cross products where I go 8 times x is 8x, and I go 3 times 20 equals 60. Then I just divide both sides by 8, solving a one-step equation. So to get rid of that 8, I divide it by 8. So 60 divided by 8 ends up being 7.5. You can use a calculator on the homework. There's one on Big Ideas if you don't have one yourself. All right. So this one, we're going to go ahead and set it up. 2 over 4. Remember, ratios can be written as fractions. And x over 6. So again, I can't do mental math on this one, so I'm going to go ahead and do my cross products. 4 times x is 4x. 2 times 6 equals 12. Then I divide both sides by 4, and I get x equals 12 divided by 4 is 3. Remember, if I'm going too fast, you can always pause the video, work it out before I do, and see if you get the answer. Okay, next one, x over 5 equals 8 over 2. So we do our cross product. X times 2 is 2x. 8 times 5, that one is 40. Then we divide by 2, and we get x equals 20. All right, go ahead and turn the page. Now we have a word problem. A chef increases the amount of ingredients in a recipe to make a proportional recipe. The new recipe has 6 cups of black beans. Which proportion can be used to find the number of x cups of water? So we've got to go with black beans to water. So black beans right here is the 1.5, and water is 2 cups. Now, since we put water on bottom, we got to make sure our water is on bottom. So that's x, and black beans was on top. So we're going to put our 6 on top. So we're going to look for a proportion that is written this way. And we find this one right here. See how when I do my cross products, 1.5 times x, there's that one. See, that doesn't work. That one doesn't work with the x, and neither does that one. So the correct answer on that one's D. So when you write your proportion, always double check your cross product. and make sure that matches, because you can write them a little differently and they still will give you the same answer. All right, so this one, write the proportion that can be used to find the number of tomatoes in the new recipe. So they still have black beans right here, original and new. And this time we're looking for tomatoes. So what was the original amount of tomatoes? So if we look in the chart, it's 1. So there's going to be a 1 right here, and we're going to use an X right there. So when I set up my proportion, I can do 1.5 cups original black beans to 1 cup of tomatoes for original. And then I can use the 6 cup of black beans to how many tomatoes. So if I do my cross products, that's going to be 1.5x equals, and 1 times 6 is 6. Then we're going to go ahead and divide. So we divide by 1.5. So 6 divided by 1.5 is 4. So we would need 4 tomatoes in the new recipe. All right. All right. Make sure you turn your page. Remember again, you can pause this as you're watching it and taking notes so you can work it out and see if you're getting the same answer. So on this one right here, a school has 950 students. The ratio of female students to all students is 48 to 95. So 48 to 95. Write and solve a proportion to find the number of F of students who are female. So we're looking for the female students. So we're going to put the letter F wherever the female would go. So remember, female was the 48. So that's on top. So we're going to put the F on 48. So we have right here, the school has 950 students. That's the total number of students. So the total of all students went on the bottom. So we're going to put the 950 on the bottom. Now this one you could actually use mental math. 95 times what is 950? You times that by 10. So I can go 48 times 10. So that means that there are 480 total of female students. So mental math, I always try to see if I can do it because it's quicker. If not, I could do cross products and go 95 times F, and then do 48 times 950, and then divide. And you'd still get 480. All right. So if we look at this one, it's talking about how many heartbeats for the Titanosaurus. So it pumps 50 gallons of blood for every 2 heartbeats. So 50 gallons for every 2 heartbeats. How many heartbeats did it take to pump 1,000 gallons? So you have to figure out where to put the 1,000. Since that's gallons, you got to figure out where did I put the gallons. Well, the gallons is the 50 and that's on top, so I put the 1,000 on top. Down here, they didn't tell me what variable I have to use, so I'm just going to use X. So on this one, I could do mental math, but it might be a little harder. So I'm just going to go ahead and do my cross products. So 50 times X is 50X. 1,000 times 2 is 2,000. So then I just divide by 50. And I end up with 40. So if we turn the page, we got one last problem. You burn 35 calories in every 3 minutes running on the treadmill. You want to run for at least 15 minutes, but no more than 30 minutes. what are the possible number of calories you can burn. So on this one, I'm going to set it up 35 calories over 3 minutes. We're going to solve the first proportion for the 15 minutes. So the 3 minutes is on bottom, so I'm going to put the 15 minutes on the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and use X. So on this one, I can use mental math. 3 times 5 is 15, so I'm going to go 35 times 5. So 35 times 5, that means X will end up being 175. On the other one, I'm still going to use 35 calories in 3 minutes. And we want no more than 30 minutes. So we're going to put the 30 minutes on bottom. And then we'll put X up here for the number of calories to burn in 30 minutes. So this one again, we can do mental math. So anytime I can do mental math, I try to do it because it's quicker. 3 times 10 is 30. So 35 times 10, that's going to be 350. Now, to write this, it says, what are all the possible numbers of calories that you can burn? It said right here, at least, for at least 15 minutes. That means the least amount is 15 minutes. So that 175, that is, you're going to get more than that or equal to it. So this right here, 175 would be the smallest amount of calories you would burn. And then 350 would be on this side. And it says no more than. So it can be 350, but it can't be more than that. So this is one way to write this equation, or the inequality. So it's basically saying you'll burn between 175 and 350 calories. Because X is greater than or equal to 175, but it's less than or equal to 350. So go ahead and you can get started on your homework. And it's in your packet, number 505. If you get stuck, remember, you can always watch my video on how I solved the homework, or you can contact me on email, and we can see if we can get you going.